West Ham versus Arsenal in a London derby, which a game that matters at the top and the bottom of the Premier League. We have another one, which is exactly the same in Manchester between Manchester City and Leicester City. Nottingham Forest versus Manchester United, another game that affects that relegation battle and a fight for top four. We've got so many games, so many important ones as we are in that end game, the business end, of the season. People, get your predictions ready, get strapped in. This is the Premier League preview show. Let's go, people. Wagwan, everyone. I hope you're doing well and welcome back to a Tereak Talks, the Premier League preview show. That's what I was meant to say. Not a Tereak Talks Premier League preview show. It is on this channel. Hope you're keeping good, people. As you can see, I don't have the, my regular co-host. He's a bit busy today, guys. He's had some last minute stuff to sort. So, people, it's me here with you. Big up my bro Edmin each and every time. He has still sorted out bits for the preview show, but I am going to be bringing you solo today. So guys, I'm going to be relying on you in the comments to get us through, get your opinions in, those of you watching in the live chat, as we talk about the Premier League games this weekend. Just before we do get into it, because I want to deep dive into it straight away, I want to big up yourselves each and every time. We got Paxton in here saying tea late again, no surprises, bro. It wouldn't be a Tereak Talk show if the man himself wasn't late. As I said, it's like the rainy weather in the UK, inevitable, and you can't run away from it. Big up you. Well, you can if you catch a plane, but I don't want you to leave this channel. I don't want you to leave the show. I'm glad that you're all here now. Big up my brother Shay in here as well. Hope you're keeping good. He says, yo, G Staffy in the building too. Hope you and Tuba are keeping well and settling in. I hope that Tuba is settling in nice and well for you as well, G Staffy. Borough playing Norwich at the rainy Riverside. Thank goodness I'm not there. The weather's crap. Yeah, weather's terrible up and down the UK today. And yeah, hopefully it's meant to be better next week, G Staffy. So maybe we can get some pics in the Discord with you playing with Tuba outside next weekend. Yeah, the weather's meant to be really good. Big up UV in the place in here too. T Talks tried to be on time challenge. Impossible. I think that would be a good YouTube video. Probably wouldn't get a lot of views. Probably get the subscriber, the people that watch this show on a regular basis to see. But yeah, I hope you're keeping good, packs. Big up yourself, Moss in the place. Yeah. So it was quite kind of short notice. So that's why I wasn't able to get a guest on, unfortunately. But yeah, but it's all good, man. It's one of those situations, guys. With Edmin, he started a new job. That's the thing of it, and that's where the crux of it. And yeah, just he's had stuff thrown upon him. So yeah, just big up my bro Edmin each and every time. Sadly, we're not getting Bellingham. UV will talk about that. We will definitely. And we're down 1-0 to Brighton's under 21s. Our under 21s haven't been great recently. Big up yourselves each and every time, and everyone else that is watching afterwards. Make sure you do get your predictions in the chat. I am also going to be waiting on Edmin's predictions also. He will pop them into the comment section and into the Discord. The link to the Discord server should be in the description down below. It is in there. If it does need a new link, let me know. And yeah, we can try and get something sorted. And big up Ryan in the building as well. He says, good evening, the Mr. Arsenal podcast. Hope you're keeping well, Ryan. Thank you for tuning in. And let's get into it. Let's start off with the first fixture, the headline one. It's not the first one. It's the penultimate fixture of the week. Not penultimate, third to last, actually, fixture of the weekend. And it is between the mighty Arsenal, who are travelling to the east side of London, to West Ham. It can get kind of confusing because it is in the east side of London to West Ham. Massive game for both sides. West Ham picked up a good victory last week up against Fulham with an own goal from Harrison Reed. So it was a very low scoring game and a fortunate way to win, but a massive victory for West Ham. and their survival hopes as well. They also played yesterday, in fact, in the Europa Conference League in a 1-1 draw up against Ghent. So this is a short turnaround for West Ham. They made a few changes in that one, so they definitely did prioritise this fixture here. West Ham are sitting in 14th place in the Premier League with 30 points. That massive win against Fulham has been able to prop them up the table. They are still only 3 points ahead of 18th place Nottingham Forest. So they're only 3 points away from that drop zone, and they are 7 points away from the bottom, which is a bit of a distance between them and Southampton. But you know, that can quickly change as there's so many games still left to play. 9 games for West Ham still to play. And of course, Arsenal in their last game, we are still top of the Premier League. Drew 2-2 after being 2-0 up to Liverpool. Could have won it, you know, at the end of the day, but certainly looked more likely that they were going to lose it at once after the second half was played in that game. So, but Arsenal are still top. They are 6 points clear but Manchester City do have a game in hand. So if Manchester City win that game in hand, it will be down to 3 points. And with Arsenal travelling away to Manchester City so not the next game, the following game after that time on Wednesday the 26th. All Arsenal must win this game and it is a must win, and it is a cup final now. Every game's a cup final for most teams in and around the Premier League at this stage, but it certainly is for Arsenal. Because it feels like if either team drops points, that's where it's it's going to be difficult because Manchester City are on such a good run. We'll definitely talk about them and their run recently going into this one, but the key injury news that I'll bring to you guys for both sides is it's only Gianluca Scamacca that is still out at the moment with that knee injury. And for Arsenal, it's some good news and bad news. The good news is Eddie Nketiah is returned and he's fit and he will be on the bench at the very least, and most likely will be on the bench. But no return for William Saliba as of yet, as Mikel Arteta confirmed today. So it's a bit of a shame, really. But talking about the game, I think it will be an interesting one. It's going to be a London derby. Arsenal tend, and we do have a good record away from home against West Ham. We've lost once, I believe, to West Ham in the London Stadium when that was under Unai Emery. But Arsenal have genuinely gone there, either grabbed a draw like we did when Arsenal were 3-0 down to West Ham during lockdown, where Martin Odegaard really took the game by the scruff of the neck, and Arsenal managed to draw that, by 3-3, and Arsenal could have won it, had chances at the end to do so. That was a high-scoring game. Arsenal beat West Ham 3-1 earlier on in the season. Arsenal, of course, are the favourites going into it. And if Arsenal perform at their best and show even their performance, what they did in the first half against Liverpool, that should be enough to put West Ham away. But if Arsenal do what they do in the second half against Liverpool and give the opposition a chance to come back into it, any away game in the Premier League is tough. Ask anyone in the Premier League. It's the hardest league in the world, and it's the best league in the world for a reason, because away from home, especially, anyone can get it. If you're not quite performing at your best and you're not defensively sound or solid, then any team has the quality to take advantage of that. Even West Ham, and the last home game that they played, they lost 5-1 to Newcastle, although that wasn't a 5-1 game, but West Ham shot themselves in the foot with the mistakes that they made. They are low on confidence. It has been a tricky season for David Moyes in a sense where he has improved the squad, and he's brought in key pieces like Inea Fajeds, Lucas Paqueta, and Gianluca Scamacca, but none of them have really hit their expectations that they've had in terms of their reputation. Naif Ajed had a fantastic World Cup for Morocco, but he's not been able to really translate that form. And speaking of one of the goals against Newcastle, he was at fault for that, showing a bit of overconfidence at the back as Jacob Murphy nicked it and Callum Wilson was able to slot it away and put it in the back of the net. So West Ham are showing that nervousness, and especially at home where it is quite volatile with the crowd. It is on a knife edge where they can react in such a bad way, and it can implode at West Ham, and it has done previously under David Moyes and the regime that they've got there. So it is Gonna be an interesting game. I do expect an Arsenal win, though. I am going to predict an Arsenal win. I have gone for a 2-1 Arsenal win. I know Arsenal tend to keep clean sheets away from home, but I think at this point in the season, West Ham will make it difficult. I thought they did a good job in the first game on Boxing Day as we returned after the World Cup. They did take the lead. Ben Warmer scoring that penalty in the first half, but Arsenal were able to come back in the second half from goals from Bukayo Saka, Martinelli, and then Eddie Nketiah, who stepped in for the injured Gabriel Jesus, who is back for this one. And I think he will be a massive, massive plus for Arsenal in maintaining and building attacks. He's going to be a key man looking in there. Declan Rice, who has been linked with a move to Arsenal. If Arsenal do get him at the end of the season, I'd be very happy. You guys who have been long-time supporters of the channel know my feelings on Declan Rice and know how much I've rated him, even when it was, seen as Calvin Phillips was the better option in that deep line midfield role. I always saw the potential with Declan Rice in the fact that he was very young, playing for a West Ham side in multiple positions and taking up his game upon and improving upon it season upon season. He's shown real quality, technical ability and leadership skills to do so. And I think it'll be a massive plus for Arsenal. But today, and in coming into this game, he's going to be a huge part. If West Ham are to get any success, he's going to have a huge part to play defensively and going forward. So it will be an interesting matchup, but I think Arsenal are going to win it by 2-1. I think it's going to be tighter than what some of our away games have been. The last time we travelled away to London, we won it 3-0, in fact, against Fulham. Fulham, who are struggling now after a very good start to the season. And West Ham, that's their last away game that they played. So I do think it will be a difficult game, and it will be something that Arsenal are going to have to ride their periods. Not as intense, I hope. I really pray and hope that it won't be as intense as that Liverpool game we had a week ago. But I think the week's rest, Arsenal will still perform well. 2-1 will flatter West Ham, I think, but Arsenal will do enough, get the job done, make some substitutions, make sure we get some fresh legs in some positions. And yeah, hopefully we can get a big performance from Benjamin White, who I thought had a poor game against Liverpool, in all honesty. And hopefully that we can maintain some of our key performers like Martinelli's, Odegaard, who's been fantastic this season, and Bukayo Saka. If we can get them into the game, causing West Ham threats and pinning them back, Arsenal will get some joy. But let's see what you guys and girls are saying in the chat right here. Big up to each and every one of you every time. Discord link has expired, so Paxton has thrown that in the chat. Really appreciate it, my bro. I'll get that updated into the description. So by the time that you're watching this, if you aren't already in the Discord, you'll be able to click in and join now. But if you are not already in the Discord and you're watching here live, Paxton has popped it in here, and I will pin this message at the top. So I really appreciate you, Pax, for doing so. Yes, let's see what we're saying as well, guys, in the chat. Big up my brother Ends in the building, says big up lad, who I think streaming right now, so I really appreciate you, my bro. Thank you for that. This is new news. West Ham want at least 100 million for Declan Rice, with that position only strengthening if the club avoid relegation, because Liverpool are interested in him also, so it will be interesting to see where he does go. Big up my bro King in the building. Rally is in here also. This is what I love to see. Big up yourself, guys. My team for FPL, right? That's it. So there's UV's FPL team. We'll talk about that as well. Surely we'll make some time for that at the end. I think Arsenal will win this 3-0. But if Arsenal underestimate West Ham, you are going to drop points. Exactly. Yeah, I think we have been brilliant at doing that this season. We've rarely dropped points, and in terms of the top sides that we should beat. We dropped it to Everton, but I thought Everton were fantastic on the day. And anyone coming up against that Everton side would have struggled. I thought, but still, Arsenal had chances in that game and were unfortunate by not being given a penalty, especially when you look at the penalty that was given last week for Liverpool on Jota by Rob Holding. Thought it was a soft penalty, but I think if it was the other way around, I'd be screaming for a penalty there. But we didn't get that against Everton, unfortunately. So there were still decisions, but we still had chances. We weren't at our brilliant best, but I thought we could have done enough to at least grab a point away to Everton. And that point would have been huge now. So Arsenal, I don't think we will underestimate. It won't be an issue with that. But if Arsenal can perform and get close to their best, they should win it. And Juve's gone for a 3-0 win right there. Let me just have a sip of water, guys. It's been a while since I've done these Premier League preview shows alone by myself. So make sure you do afterwards, guys. Get your predictions in the comment section at the end of this video so our brother Edmin can have a look and then get them ready for you for the predictions table so that you guys can be within a chance of winning some stuff. Some plenty of giveaways at the end of the season just to show my love and support for you guys who have continually gone to show that. And if you want to continue, just hit that like button, as Brush is saying here, people. Share and subscribe. Riley's gone for a 2-0 Arsenal. So another Arsenal clean sheet. West Ham not playing well at all. They're not at the moment. They've had a decent couple of games, though, with their record. King in the place has said 4-0 to Arsenal. Martinelli brace, Trossard goal, and Ødegaard goal. Yeah, that'll be massive. Get Ødegaard back on the goal trail. It will definitely be important. And Martinelli to continue. What a season he's had. What a player Gabriel Martinelli is. The top goal scoring Brazilian player in the Europe at the moment, not in the world, because there's enough goal scorers in Brazil, but in Europe, what a player he's been. Underrated in terms of even from Arsenal fans, I'd say, this season. We don't really throw him in the player of the season shouts. You hear a lot about Ødegaard, Saka in there, Saliba, Gabriel, but not really Martinelli, and he is our top goal scorer at the moment. Let's have a look. We'll save that there for when we talk about Man United, Juve. Appreciate that. Moss has gone for a 3-1 Arsenal. Saka, Jesus, Ødegaard, and Bowen for them as well. DB in the place has gone for a 2-1 Arsenal win. DB, that's exactly what I've gone for. Great minds think alike. And look at Ends. Look at Ends. He's trolling here, people. 2-1 West Ham right there. But yeah, people, that's for the West Ham Arsenal game. Get your predictions in the chat. Let me know how you think this game is going to be. As Juve says right here, these games win you titles. Yeah, Manchester City, when they played this fixture last season, they drew 2-2. If you can remember, were they 2-0 down as well? I believe they were. This was one of the last games of the season that they had before they were 2-0 down and against Aston Villa and won. So it seems like teams in claret and blue at the end of the season, they seem to struggle against as at the end. Martinelli, defo one of those players of the season. I agree to. Yeah, definitely deserves it. Big goals and big games. Scored a couple against Liverpool now this season in the first game and the away game. He scored at Old Trafford, but that one got wrongly ruled out. And who else has he scored against off the top of my head? But he's had big goals and he's our top goal scorer and will continue to be so if he does go and bag one in this game at least. So let's move on now into the next fixture. We're going to have to talk about the team that are in the title race. Let's get them done with. It is Manchester City versus Leicester. Let's get into this here. Man City, relentless. Who saw that game against Bayern Munich? Oh my word. Scary opposition right there. I thought it was quite even in the first half, though. I did think that Bayern Munich had a few chances without really creating a shot action in terms of shooting. They had that one from Musiala, which looked like it was nestling into Ederson's near post. He was rooted to the spot, but Ruben Dias with a huge block. And this is why Man City are scary. All of their key players, like your Ruben Dias's, Nathan Ake, Manuel Akanji, who else are you looking at? Rodri, what a goal he scored in that game. Kevin De Bruyne, Haaland, Jack Grealish, Mahrez, they're all purring. And Mahrez didn't even play, actually. I'm lying. I'm talking about Bernardo Silva. What a performance he's had. And this is where Manchester City are now in the business and churning out those victories. However, having said that, the data does prove that Manchester City have only gone in one occasion where they've won all of their games from now to the end of the season. So they are likely to drop points, but with how they're performing at the moment, it doesn't look like they will. Defensively, they look a lot stronger than they did earlier on in the season. Away from home, they look a lot stronger and they're looking like they can manage games a bit better. At home, they are the machine, the relentless machine. With Haaland, you've always got a chance to score, even if you're not playing at your best. Manchester City can do that. And then when you look at the visitors and how tepid, how awful they have been this season. Leicester sacked Brendan Rodgers, replaced him this week with former Aston Villa manager Dean Smith and former caretaker and assistant at Leicester, who is his assistant, one of his assistants alongside John Terry, which is Craig Shakespeare. So yeah, so people maybe they got something cooking. Maybe, but before we get into my predictions and thoughts on this game and your guys' predictions and thoughts, let me just bring you some key injury news because there might be something to talk about. I've not heard anything in regards to Kevin De Bruyne, who looked like he came off. Well, he looked like he sustained an injury during the Bayern Munich game, but Pep Guardiola's not said anything. There's no news surrounding it, so maybe he'll be fine and fit enough to play. But he was substituted off, and they did ask him at the end of the game, why was he substituted? And Pep Guardiola simply said, I needed fresh legs, and Alvarez came on, and he had a massive difference. This is what I mean about Manchester City's squad depth. Scary. As an Arsenal fan, it is. They might end the season as playing the best football. They are, I think, currently on form. They are the best team in Europe right now in terms of how they're playing, their results. But boy, if Arsenal managed to win the league, and at 38 games played, Arsenal top of that Premier League and win it, it's not, trust me, it's not because it's been a down season from Manchester City. That's definitely not the case. They have been fantastic of late, and they will give Arsenal a run for their money, and they're not going to go down. They're not going to go without a fight with this trophy as they try and aim for the three-peat of the Premier League trophy, winning it 3 times in a row, and they're on course for the treble too, so they could win all 3 and eclipse Manchester United's trebles. That's why when I say for Manchester United fans that want Man City to win, yeah, they'll put your treble to shame, son, because they'll win 3 leagues in a row. That'll be the 3rd time they win it in a row, and you wouldn't bet against them to win it 4 times in a row, would you? Next season, if they do get a Jude Bellingham, a Declan Rice, or someone to improve and evolve their attack, and this has been a transition season for Manchester City. A lot of people have been saying Erling Haaland in his 2nd season, boy, he'll be a problem. For Leicester, key injuries, my words. Harvey Barnes is going to be out for the next couple of weeks. He will be out for Saturday in this game. One of their top goal scorers, one of their key players, he won't be available for this fixture here. That's the big one. Yuri Tielemans, he'll be back. So there's a little bit of a plus there for Leicester, although Yuri Tielemans has been nowhere near his level. Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall, though, should be back after his suspension. But yeah, it's not good news. Missing a key player like Harvey Barnes, you're going to need all your attacking threat as possible if you are going to grab anything, which just lessens the likelihood of that happening, and which is why I'm going to go for a prediction of a 4-0 Manchester City win. It could even be more than that. I'm going 4-0. Haaland to score a brace at the minimum. Jack Grealish to continue his top form and grab a goal. I don't see Manchester City rotating as much. I think they will play a strong team in this game and then a strong team away at Bayern Munich. And then we'll see some rotation for that FA Cup semi-final against Sheffield United, where I think they will be able to afford that, having that rotation. They're going to want to get the job done at Bayern Munich. There won't be any rotation there. We've seen what Champions League nights can throw away from home. And Manchester City have been victims to that, so they're not going to be taking that one for granted. Although it is wrapped up, they won't be playing like it's wrapped up. That's for sure. We know as fans how this Manchester City team perform, and they're not going to give up 3 goals without a reply. We know that for sure. So yeah, looks like Manchester City will win that, will progress into the semi-finals, and I think they're going to win by 4-0 against Leicester City. Not the time for Dean Smith to be coming in and trying to make an impact. I don't see it at all. I'm not even going to say, little hopes and that like I did against Southampton. I thought I was kind of right in having those hopes after what we saw in the first half, but Southampton, masters of their own downfall eventually after not taking their chances. Kamaldeen Sulemana, That's the one, but to blame. But he was very good against Man City, apart from it being in the final third. Let's have a look in the chat. What in terms of your predictions, guys? Let me have a look into it here. So we got Paxton in the building saying 4-3 Leicester. Why not? He said 4-3 Leicester. Sorry if you're listening. 4-3 Manchester City. But he says, why not? Could be goals. Do you know what? There has been goals in this fixture. I think that's what Paxton's going with it here. I think he's more than right to, because there has been plenty of goals where Leicester won 5-3 at once upon a time there. Last season, I think it was 4-3 as well. But Manchester City were like 3-1 up, and then they went 4-2 up, and Leicester were able to grab a couple back with Iheanacho. So maybe I can see that happening. Moss ain't beating Sevilla 6-0 for every club. 3-1 to City 2, says Moss. Sees them winning this quite comfortably. And that's also what Rally's gone for. 3-1 City. Haaland to get 2 and Kevin De Bruyne to get 1 in his prediction. This is the third 3-1 in a row, says Shay. But he said 3-1 to Leicester. Oh, I hope you're right, Shay. I really do. Oh, easy and comfortable, says UV. 4-0 Manchester City. Haaland brace, KDB brace. This is the period where Man City turn it up, and we have been in a title race with them the past 3 years, so we know how to compete against City. Man City can rotate in the Premier League and Champions League. That is so scary about Man City. They are in their stride now. Do you know what? I think you are right in terms of them hitting their stride and doing what they need to do at this point in the season. I don't actually think, though, they can rotate too much as they were able to previously. One, because I don't think the squad depth is as good now. And two, because of how they are, this squad does shape up with Haaland up top. I think he has found his best 11, and it's quite easy to name that best 11 now, I believe, which is Ederson in goal, John Stones, Akanji, Nathan Ake, Ruben Diaz as the defenders. Ake to the left, John Stones on the right on paper, but comes inside, and it ends up more of a back three where Akanji's covering on that side, and then you have Diaz in the middle, and then Ake out to the left. Also alongside John Stones in that middle, you have Rodri, then you have a Gundogan, then you have De Bruyne. Then you also have Jack Grealish to the left. Then you also have Bernardo Silva or Mahrez, where they can afford to rotate. It has been Mahrez in the last couple of games, although Bernardo Silva started against Bayern Munich, so wouldn't be surprised to see him there. And then Haaland up top. So I do think they have a settled 11, which they're not going to rotate too heavily. Maybe you'll see the likes of Phil Foden come in and Hot Alvarez possibly, but you won't see too much change, especially at the defense, where that has been one of their weak points this season. But they seem to have not stumbled upon it, because that's discrediting what Pep Guardiola's work is and how much of a genius he is. But yeah, they seem to have come across that now later on. Leicester changes. John Terry now as manager, and D. Smith is the weirdest manager of the season. Glad not a Leicester fan. Not a good appointment. That Rally doesn't think that's a good appointment. King's gone for a 2-2 draw in this game once again. Hope you're right. I will definitely take that. UV chucking in some more news in the chat about Chelsea making one more push to sign Mason Mount. I'm sure Frank Lampard's got a hand in that right there. That is exactly why I want Arsenal to win the league, stop the treble, maybe the quad. Our fan base is shambolic though. I couldn't believe it when I was seeing it, Pax. Honestly, I couldn't. Like, I understand the rivalry with Arsenal is massive, especially a lot of Manchester United fans who aren't based around Manchester, global Man United fans, or even Man United fans that are just outside of Manchester. I can understand that their hatred for Arsenal because of what they grew up with. But if Manchester City win this Premier League, it only makes them stronger, and it only means that they could go for the quad next season. And then once they've got that Champions League in the bag, I think it could be reigning Champions Leagues for Manchester City then. So I don't think anyone wants them to win either of those trophies at all costs. Arsenal won't mind if City win the Champions League if it means that they win the Premier League. But I think in the long term, it's not good for Arsenal if Man City win the Champions League as well. Let's have a look and let's move on into the next game, people. We will move on now. Let's go into Nottingham Forest against Manchester United. This game follows the Arsenal one on Sunday. So this one is a 4:30 kickoff here in the UK. And This one has just been made more interesting given what's the events that occurred in Manchester at Old Trafford last night in their 2-2 draw against Sofia. Manchester United cruising. Look, it could have even extended their lead in the second half when Weghorst played it to Malacia. I did watch the majority of the second half. I watched bits of the first half. Man United were purring in those first 20 minutes with Martial looking like he's back to his best. You know, the reason why he does have Man United fans that love him so much and always back him, his issue is he's never available, and he's not available enough to be putting out these performances. But when he is fit and available and playing like this, boy, he is a serious player. And especially for this Ten Hag system and what he requires and what he wants from his forward and what is number 9, it seems like a perfect match to me. But it's about being fit for Martial. I thought he was excellent. Sabitzer with the 2 goals, making those late runs into the box, showing what he's done, what he's been able to do at so many points during his career and scoring those goals and why he was highly touted. The reason why he went to Bayern Munich, where it's not quite worked out there, as it hasn't for a lot of players. So he was excellent with those goals. I thought Bruno was playing well. It all looked easy. And then it kind of, you know, as it does in the UK and in Manchester, it never rains, but it pours when it does. So, yeah, it wasn't a great result in the end. But the injuries that came off the back of that, which Juve put in the chat, it doesn't look good for Alessandro Martinez, who is set to miss the rest of the season with a foot injury. Looked like an Achilles injury at first, but Erik ten Hag said it's not an Achilles tendon injury. I still find that surprising. I can't wait to hear the assessment on that. But yeah, a foot injury, serious one, and it didn't look good. Carried off by his counterparts in the game, but his international teammates in Acuna and Montiel yesterday, and then stretchered off the sidelines as well. Does not look good. As Rafael Varane is also being assessed, and there is concerns that he may also miss the rest of the season. Big up Juve for bringing us up to date on that here. Let me see what any other key injury news for United. Marcus Rashford looks like he will miss this game as well. Erik ten Hag did say he'll miss a few games with that groin injury, so maybe this is the second of the third 3 games that he's going to miss. Luke Shaw, he's expected to be back for Sunday. Well, he could be. He's going to be assessed for that. He will have a late fitness test, of course. Scott McTominay was missing due to a knock yesterday, but he should return as well. So yeah, those are the big injury news right there for Manchester United. For Nottingham Forest, though, who have been extremely poor away from home and are sitting in 18th place, them alongside their East Midlands rivals who we spoke about previously in Leicester. Nottingham Forest, if they are to stay up in this Premier League, do you know what it will be relied upon? Their home form. And they are going to have to do something mega here and surprise and hope that the reason, you know, that everything's fallen into place for this game here and you know, surprise everyone against Man United, who are the favourites, you'd say, in this game. But with their injuries, maybe that's flipped it on its head a little bit more, given the fact that Nottingham Forest are stronger at home. The City ground can cause a raucous atmosphere. Brennan Johnson, what a player. And if Forest do go down, I'm sure he's staying in the Premier League. Mid, like when I say mid-table, top 10 club, or a club that's expected to finish in the top 10, because you'd say Chelsea are a top 10 club, but they're not currently there, are they? So yeah, you'd say a club that's expected to finish in the top 10 next season. That's the level he could be at, and he could have a real impact. I think Brennan Johnson, what a player. I think Morgan Gibbs-White this season, you know, he came in with a heavy price tag. A lot of people raising their eyebrows at that price tag that Nottingham Forest paid for him. But I think he's had a good season overall. I was looking, doing a bit of research into this, and Nottingham Forest fans, when they talk about Gibbs-White, they say that he is basically the epitome of that squad. Away from home, doesn't perform as well, but at home at the City ground, that's when he's shining and at his best. So it will be a massive game for them. I think it'll be definitely a one to watch on Sunday if you've not got anything to do, and you will be, yeah. And if you're not a Man United fan or a Forest fan, I think it will be an interesting watch for the neutral. So I definitely recommend this. If it was on Saturday, I would say it would be one of the high priority games and match of the day. But I think there's going to be goals in this. I'm going to go for 4 goals in this game. but I'm going to go for 2-2. I can't see Forest keeping Man United out defensively. Although they are missing their firepower with Marcus Rashford, I think Anthony Martial has taken them up and brought that quality in and around the final third, where it just doesn't happen. They just don't have it with Weghorst. And Man United have had indifferent, and they've been not as consistent away from home, but it's usually against teams in the top half of the Premier League that they struggle again, or when they travel away. But away from home against these relegation threatened sides, they tend to do well. But I'm not going to say they're going to win. I've gone for a 2-2 draw. Goals in this game. Don't think that's great for either side. If it is, there is that point that it does better for. It's Manchester United, given the position that they're in. But Forest, they're gonna need a win. They are gonna need a win. They've not got many good easy home games for the rest of the season, but they are gonna have to overperform at home if they are going to get the victory. Let's see what you guys and late girls are saying in the chat right now. We've got plenty in here, so I really do appreciate you. Smash that like button if you haven't done so already. King said for the Man City game, his prediction by heart, not head. He expects City to smash them. I understand. I get you. Paxton, so for this game, he goes for a 1-0 Manchester United win. Get it done, get the job done, go home. And if you do that, I think that's massive, Pax. And I think that's huge for your top four hopes as well. If you're able to go there and grab the win and then just keep building upon your home form and, keep doing that, you'll easily secure top four. And at the end of the day, if that top four in a Carabao Cup and you weren't able to get and win the Europa League or the FA Cup, I think that's fine. It's a successful season from Ten Hag, who's had to juggle the team. He didn't really rotate the team as much, so I do think he does have to take some responsibility for these injuries, for running the risk. And some of them are freak injuries, like your Lisandro Martinez one, which isn't a muscular, which wouldn't directly indicate that it is a fatigue injury. But what I will say in terms of injuries and how these ones can occur, it can occur through, and fatigue can still be a factor in how you're placing your foot. Your biomechanics aren't working as efficiently because of you being in that red zone or the amount of games that you've played, and it doesn't work as well. So I do think there is an element of that, but I also think with Ten Hag, if he wants to win every competition and take Manchester United back to their best and the expectations that the club needs to get to, I think he's got to compete in all competitions and can't be affording to throw them away, and set the standard for the players, for the players that he wants to build for with the future. If you want to play for this club, you've got to compete in every single competition. Simple as that. In terms of the wages that they earn, they have to. I think that's another reason. If you are to earn that much, you can't be missing the odd game. If you are going to reach the level and be the player that you expect to be, you got to be playing almost every game, like Fernandes has. He's played some of the most minutes out of any player in this Premier League this season. So yeah, 1-0 says Pax, 3-1 Man United says Shea as well. Moss says maybe 2-1, but maybe Forest. But nah, he's gone for 2-1 Man United. Martial looked good. He did. The butcher carried off by Sevilla, mates. And yeah, and Wout, Weghorst, the rest, people, annoys Paxton so much. He does, man. It's not who's better, Igalo or Wout. Let me know. Wout, Weghorst, or Igalo. I'm saying Igalo, man. I thought Igalo had a good impact in games where he's not, Wout. He scored more goals in those Europa League games than what Wout Weghorst did, and that was arguably a worse side under a worse manager where he wasn't as cohesive. So yeah, I'm saying Igalo. Let me know your thoughts. But yeah, it's not great players to be comparing right there. UV says, I think Forest win 2-1. United have too many injuries, and with the crowd at Nottingham Forest, they are really good at home. They are indeed, UV. Don't United have injuries in the centre defence? Varane, Martinez out all season? Maybe 2-1 United though. Rashford on fire. But Rashford's not going to play in this game. So let me know if that has changed your opinion and it has changed your scoreline. Rally, just get it into the comments afterwards at the end of this video. Let's have a look. What Paxton said here. I genuinely take Phil Jones over Maguire, and he might be one of your only fit and available ones coming up soon, as Maguire is suspended, I believe. Is he suspended? yeah, I think I saw something on Twitter. I don't know if it's true though, Pax. You have to let me know. So it might be you one of your only fit and available centre backs. So you might see a bit of Phil Jones playing. Rashford's out, so he's changed it for a 2-2 draw right there. We are not going to beat teams by much now for the rest of the season. Just getting over the line at most. Yeah, I think you're right. I don't think you are going to beat teams by much. Man United don't really score too many goals. At home, your defense is solid. Your defense is strong. When you went on that run in that after the World Cup where you had winnable games, but you had to still win them, that's what separated you from your other top four contenders in and around you, as well as big games, big victories like against Arsenal at home, Manchester City at home, Liverpool at home, Spurs at home. So yeah, you've been amazing at home, and that's the reason why you're there. But yeah, you don't really tend to score too many, and with these injuries, missing your top goal scorer, doesn't look like you will continue to score many either. Let's have a look. Please, whatever. We don't sign Wout Workhorse. Yeah. Erik ten Hag hasn't rotated enough, but again, squad depth isn't really there, especially with the players he would play given anything. Yeah, exactly that. The squad depth and quality is not there. In numbers, it's there, but the players that he does have aren't at the level. You don't want them playing in those amount of games for Man United. Staffy has gone for a 3-1 Manchester United win in here. So yeah, let's move on into the next game now, people. Let us move on swiftly. We're going to probably try and rattle through some of these a little bit more. But yes, let's go into Chelsea versus Brighton. Oh, wow. How Chelsea thought that they could make Brighton their feeder club, and then Brighton have a much better season. What is the difference in terms of points? You're going to get Tereak doing quick maths here. So I've just pulled up the table. Brighton on 46, Chelsea on 39. So it's a difference, but not that much of a difference. But Brighton have 2 games less, in fact. So it is 7 points, in fact. And it shouldn't take me that long to work it out. 46, 39. Equal 46 minus 39 equals 7. But yeah, let's go into the injury news for this one. Chelsea 2-0 away from home. Poor as soon as they conceded. To be honest, I say they were poor. They started the game really well. When they conceded that goal, that game just went to shreds. It was terrible. It was awful after that. Real Madrid had control. Chelsea never looked like scoring at all. And that's been the story of their season. They can have all the good approach play, but they have no one to put it in the back of the net. And on the other end, I could argue their goalkeeper should do better. But Chelsea, their injury list is a lot thinner at the moment. I remember reading this at points. Only Kalidou Koulibaly, who did come out off with a hamstring injury. So it's a matter of weeks, Frank Lampard said. So he's the exclusion from the last game against Real Madrid. For Brighton and Hove Albion, who have been fantastic this season, but look like they were robbed last week. Let's admit, let's be honest, they were robbed, just like how they were away to Crystal Palace as well. But they have faltered a little bit of late when the pressure has come to them. They could have been in a Champions League position right now, knocking on the door, ready to pounce against Manchester United. They're going to have a miracle now if they are to make the top 4, as they do have, the likes of Manchester United, Newcastle ahead of them, and Spurs. They're going to have a lot. They're going to have a lot go their way, and even Villa, I believe, ahead of them in 6th as well. So yeah, they're going to need a big end to the season. So what we know in terms of injuries, no Adam Lallana in this game. Levi Colwill won't be able to play against his parent club, and no Jeremy Sarmiento. So apart from that, they've got a strong squad available, Brighton and Hove Albion. This game, man, I can see a Brighton win. I can't. Chelsea are so bad, and when they do go down, I think that they really struggle to get back into games. At home, they tend to be better. They tend to grab a few more draws. Still not exciting for the Chelsea faithful to watch with that massive squad. Like this money spent on that squad for it to be performing where it is. It should not forget managers getting sacked. There should be people getting sectioned for that. How can you spend that much money and get away with it? It's not at all. And Todd Burley, the Chelsea fans, I think, are beginning to sense and run it and lose a bit of patience with him. because of his actions and just how the general overview of the club is. And he doesn't really have a clue what he's doing with all that money at all. There's no plan. There's no strategic long-term plan. You can see it right there, guys. They're going to have to really rip it out and start again, really. And that sounds crazy after spending 600 million, because the rumours surrounding that club is Luis Enrique and Julian Nagelsmann. They're the favourites for the role. Luis Enrique, as apparently, this is according to rumours and what has been reported out there, so take it with a pinch of salt, because this doesn't make sense to me. If he gets the job, he wants assurances that he can get better wide players. Better wide players. He said players, plural. So you're telling me you can bring in 50 million for Raheem Sterling, 40 million for Noni Madueke, 62 base for Mudryk, rising up to 80, being 100 million euros for those three players alone, and you want better options, not one, you want plural, more out wide. Doesn't that just show you about the lack of planning at Chelsea? When they signed Mudryk, no plan. Noni Madueke, no plan. Raheem Sterling tried to seize on an opportunity because he was leaving Manchester City. No plan. And that's completely the opposite with Brighton and Hove Albion and their recruitment. When they've sold players, they've not even brought players straight away. They've brought them in whilst having their key assets that they knew that they were going to sell on. And they've been able to bed in the next crop. Like, think of Basuma, and he was there. Caicedo was already there before Basuma was sold. He was being bedded in slowly, went on loans to Beerschot in in Belgium. And then he was able to be brought back in January, be eased into the squad, out of the limelight. Basuma getting all the headlines. Moving on, Caicedo comes in. McAllister in there as well. Evan Ferguson really acclimatizing and looking like a star at his age already. But Brighton and Hove Albion, this is the complete opposite of team that has no plan at home versus the team that seems to have it all mapped out. But I think I'm going to go for... I'm thinking draw, but I'm not. I'm going to edge it to Brighton. I'm going to say a 2-0 Brighton win. 2-0. I've gone for it, people. Chelsea no goals. 2-0 at home. It's going to go. It's going to go all up from there. It's going to blow up. Let's see what you guys and girls are saying in the chat right now. Paxton's gone for a 2-1 Brighton win. I was thinking of that, but now I thought I'd go 2-0, so I might have given Ed a nice one there. Frank Lampard might get sacked as an interim to get back, getting back to League One. Exactly, he needs to. Couldn't even get Derby promoted with the plethora of players that he took from Chelsea. You know, like Mason Mount, Fikayo Tomori, all England internationals, and he couldn't get them promoted. What a shame. Not Brighton. Sorry, Derby. You've just had collateral there. It's just Frank Lampard. Brighton are beating Chelsea 2-0. Chelsea cannot score to save their lives. And Todd B said they would beat Real Madrid 3-0. He has no ball knowledge at all. That's clear to see with his actions, let alone his words. Kepa is incredibly average for his massive price tag. They need someone better. Moss has gone for a 1-1. Mitoma and Havertz. He's gone for a draw here. And Mitoma and Havertz to score. Maybe that's for FPL reasons, Moss. I can see where you're going there. Apparently, Liverpool and Man City are going to fight for Colwill. He is such a talent. Yes, I did see that today, in fact. He is a real talent, and he was on loan at Huddersfield last season, making waves. Carlos Corberan, who is now the West Bromwich Albion coach, really bedded him in and had a great and got him into his system, and one of the key players there, as they nearly got promoted to the Premier League, but Nottingham Forest beat them to it in the playoff final. At the end of last season. But yeah, he's a real talent. And if he's secured by a top club, Liverpool, I think it makes sense. Needing that left centre-back to come in and be an understudy to Van Dijk as he's in his final years. He could come in and take over that role. Imagine Colwill and Konate. That sounds like a real prospect, like centre-back partnership for the future. Physicality, athleticism, perfect for that system that Liverpool want to play. Massive players as well. I think that would be huge. And then Man City, and another left-footed centre-back. I wonder what that means for Aymeric Laporte, who we haven't seen much of. In fact, yeah, I just remembered that we haven't seen much of Aymeric Laporte at all this season. But he could be almost be repurposed into that left back as well. What Ake's been doing. boy, it's a massive, yeah. He's got real options there. Wherever he goes, I can see him succeeding. That's for sure. Todd wants a wide receiver. He's like, you want better wide players? Okay, we'll get you a wide receiver. Odell Beckham, come here now, boy. Let's go into it. They spent 600 million to be in 11th. Why do you bring Lampard back? So dumb and stupid. Yeah, we know. Oh, it is crazy. It is crazy, Pax. Pax UV, sorry. Madueke wasting his potential at Chelsea. It's sad. Yeah, these players, they're eight. I don't, you know what? I blame the players as well because they have the final say at the end of the day. They're the ones signing the contracts, but the people around them see dollar signs. Oh, it's Chelsea, Premier League. Oh, one of the best teams. Oh, in London, no plan. All right, give me assurances on where I'm going to play. Yeah, we'll sort that out later. Just sign your contract there, Nonny. Yeah, we were great. Now we've got you on a death row contract. We'll find a way to make money out of you somehow, or play you even. That's the worst thing they could do is play him at the moment. Mate, remember the news that was coming out when Potter was sacked, when they didn't even have Noni Madueke and Mudryk couldn't even have a place to sit in the changing room or even get changed? Joke. Absolute joke of a club. Big up my bro Oris in the building also. Let's see. Chelsea have such a big squad. They first need to sell. Yeah, definitely. They've made it even tougher for them to sell UV because everybody knows they need to sell. So the players that they do have are on ridiculously high wages. Oh, I'm not going to pay that much for them. To be honest, I don't even want to pay a transfer fee if I'm going to pay anywhere near those wages. And if the players are like, well, if you're not going to hit my wages, I'm going to stay here chilling on my death row contract. Yeah, my career might go down to waste, but that's because Chelsea have ruined it. I don't mind. I'll be able to make my money, make my bag, and we'll move. There's players that think like that because they have signed mercenaries. So they do have plenty of them. So it's not like there's not going to be too many players that will be like, oh, you know what? I'm just desperate to play football. I'll get a wage cut. I'll even do this and that, whatever. No, not when you sign mercenaries like Chelsea have. A tight end coming for Bowley, new keeper. He hasn't got Mitoma Ferguson back up in his FPL. Matt G in the building, my brother T. Do you think we could convince Burley to buy Nuno Tavares for £80 million? There is a way. So we need to get something cooking up now, Matt G. There is a way to do so. As long as you just say that Arsenal are interested in buying Nuno Tavares, then he don't let him know that, you know, he's on loan at Marseille. I think that's what we can do. If we just start putting rumors out there that Arsenal interested in Nuno Tavares, let's make compilations of his goals, put them out on Twitter, get them out to Twitter Spaces, left wing back, perfect. There we go, 80 million. Doesn't even realise who he's dealing with. And he's just given 80 million to Arsenal. Hey, that's a way. Do you like that idea? The people around them saw the 7-year contract. They're set for life. Don't blame them for signing. Yep, don't blame them for signing from a career, like financial point of view. From a career, yeah, they probably thought, you know what, Chelsea? I'm not Chelsea, for goodness sakes. I'm going to make it. So, no, doesn't work like that. Have a look at your predecessors. Big up my bro, Bobby K in the building. Says big up Tereak and everyone in the chat. Don't forget to like and subscribe for such great charisma. I like that, Paxton. Appreciate you, my bro. Thank you. But listen to him. Don't forget to like and subscribe for people. Do it right now. Really appreciate you all. Can we get to 650? Can we get to 650 today? If we can get to 650 subscribers, guys, I will bring you. Right. If you can get to 650 subscribers by the time the first game kicks off, I will bring you double watch-alongs for the Champions League this week, okay? If you want it, you know, I might lose subscribers now for saying that. But if you can get me to 650 subscribers by the time Aston Villa versus Newcastle kicks off, I will do double Champions League watch-alongs for the second legs. I will do a watch-along on Tuesday and a watch-along on Wednesday. How about that? How about that now, people? 650 by the end of today. That all you need to do is tell one friend, one cousin, one wife to subscribe right now. Actually, yeah, you might not want to do that. Okay, get the wife. You get the cousin and that, but not the wife. Mudryk made a mistake choosing Chelsea over Arsenal. Indeed, I don't think he really had a choice in the end. I think Shakhtar Donetsk literally said, if you don't go Chelsea, you ain't going anywhere. So yeah, left with no choice. The people around them saw a 7-year contract. They are set for life. I don't blame them for signing. Oh yeah, I've already read that one out. Yep, I agree. Who's up for breaking into Chelsea and freeing Mudryk? Anyone else who wants out of Burnley jail? Is there a way that Arsenal could get a Mudryk though? Arsenal and Chelsea do have a history of buying and trading players to each other. I don't know what I'm thinking about it. I don't know because I don't think it's going to happen. But maybe, yeah, maybe. I'd still take him. I'd still take him. I'm glad we got Trossard ahead of him because he's someone that is being able to give us an instant impact in multiple positions where Mudryk just wouldn't be able to. I think he'd be much better than what he's done at Chelsea so far because Arteta, with our system, it's fluid. He'd have a plan. He'd know exactly where to go. He'd know exactly where his teammates are. And I think, could you imagine his pace against Liverpool in those last minutes where Martinelli was tiring a little bit? Oh, it would have been a problem. So yeah, I think those are the types of games that he'd have been able to come in and make a difference as well. Let's have a look into it now. I do not want Mount. Please sign the contract. Todd B. Subscribe if you haven't. You won't regret it. Appreciate you, Matt G. Well, probably get Mudryk when he's 34. Yeah, that's how the Arsenal Chelsea deals tend to go. John Pork, Chelsea are so bad. It's a joke. So Lampard is not better than Potter. Exactly that. Right there. Indeed. Let's move on now into the next games, people. 650 subscribers, double watch along. Make it happen. Let's go into it right now. The next game. What am I doing? I'm losing my head. Like Todd Burley. I have no plan for the show. Let's do Leeds versus Liverpool. This is the last game of the weekend on a Monday night. Leeds in that relegation battle again. Liverpool aren't really fighting for anything, maybe for a European place. Let me know your thoughts, UV. Do you think there is anything that you guys can get at the end of the season, or any other Liverpool fans that are watching at the end of it as well? Please do let me know. So let's have a look in terms of the injury news for Leeds. Massive game this is going to be. Leeds did win this game, this fixture at Anfield. One of the few teams, one of the only two teams that have won at Anfield, and it has been teams that wear the white of Leeds United and Real Madrid. So Leeds, in terms of injuries, they only have Max Verber, who is not looking like he's going to be fit and available, but will have a late fitness test, and no Tyler Adams and Stuart Dallas. For Liverpool, Ibu Konate couldn't train for the last couple of days, another injury. And the same also goes for Alisson, who's missed training as well. Luis Diaz, though, should be back and he should play a part in this one. I can't see him starting. He might get subbed onto the bench, subbed on and get some minutes in that way. But yeah, Ibrahim Konate, Alisson out. I mean, I could have done with them being out on Sunday, you know what I mean? But they were both excellent, I thought, in that game against Arsenal, especially Ibu Konate in that second half. Who else can see a Leeds win, though, guys? I can see Leeds doing it. Liverpool away from home have been shocking. At home, completely different story. But away from home, I think they look susceptible and they struggle against these sides. So I'm saying, yeah, well, John Pork says 3-1 Liverpool, sick 100 quid. Trust me, easy. Stick 100 quid, he says. Easy money. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think Leeds are going to win it. I'm going to go for a 2-1 Leeds win. Pats goes for a 0-0 draw right there. UV says, I'm not confident going into this game at Ellen Road on a Monday night. I think it will be a 2-2 draw, which is the same result, but different scoreline of what Paxton says. And a big boost for us is Luis Diaz is back, but Ali and Konate could be out. And yeah, if Ali and Konate are out, that's problems. There's when they've played, in the case of Ibu Konate, those are two of Liverpool's best players this season. I'm going for a 2-1 Leeds win, guys. Moss has also gone for a 2-2 draw. Sinistera, Rodrigo Moreno, and Salah and Gakpo with the goals. Another 2-2. Sorry. Did I say you said that, Moss, before? Sorry, my head's gone. I told you Todd Burley's taking it. Porky Pig is going to eat. Oh, I was about to read that last part out then. Oh my days. But let's move on into the next one, the next game now in terms of predictions. This is a shorter one, and this one will be a shorter one. We've got a few more games left to go. Let's do Spurs versus Bournemouth. Spurs, not great at all this season, and they were very, very fortunate to pick up a win away at home. Against Brighton. Against Bournemouth, though, you'd say that they're the favourites, although Bournemouth have been causing big teams problems. When they last travelled to North London, they caused Arsenal a major scare, but did lose eventually in the end by 3-2 after being 2-0 up. Beating Liverpool at home this season as well. They went to Leicester, travelled away, got the 3 points. Maybe it could be a tricky game for Spurs. I don't think Spurs will make light work of it, but I can see Spurs winning 3-1. I know I said that doesn't make it seem light work, but Spurs winning by 3-1 doesn't mean that they would have deserved it either. But yeah, just the threat that they have, Harry Kane, Richarlison won't he score his first goal in the Premier League this season? The biggest flop this season, hands down. I don't want to hear talk about Mudryk, Anthony, those guys when Richarlison's been in the league. Zero goals. Matt Smith, you cheeky Everton, you cheeky lot. You have robbed Spurs right there. And I absolutely love you for it. So thank you. So yeah, I'm going 3-1 Spurs. And do you know what? I'm going to back Richarlison to grab his first goal. Although, having said that, he is the worst player this season. Flop of the season, indeed. Big up yourselves in the chat right there. I can't read that out. But 2-1 Spurs against Bournemouth, says Paxton. Yeah, exactly. It is. I see what you mean. Not convincing, but looks like they could do it. Spurs are winning because Bournemouth are not great. Spurs 2-0. Kane with a brace. That's their only hope. 2-1. Stupid Spuds. I'm sure Moss will be watching this. In fact, Moss, are you doing a goal rush on Saturday for the 3:00 kickoffs? Let me know and I'll give you a shout out for it. But yeah, if you're not, even if he's not, go subscribe to Across the Pond Sports Talk. They tend to do it on the channel. Moss is joined by a guest. They do cover all the games, and it's just easy chat. If you are watching the 3:00, or if you're out and even if you're out and about, just stick them on, drop a comment in there, show them some love, and give them a good topic of discussion as well. We talk about everything on that channel. So let's have a look now into the next game that we have right here on the agenda. Let's do Ed's Mighty Wolves, which is also a 3:00 kickoff. Wolves at home to Brentford. Wolves big win away at home to Chelsea. It feels like there's a lot of these games that, usually the Premier League games alternate in terms of away, home, away, home, away. But it seems like a lot of them have been home, or away for these clubs. I think Brentford are one of them. No, Brentford were at home against Newcastle, but Wolves were at home last week as well. So Wolves have got a difficult end to the season. But if Wolves are to do anything, it most likely will be at home. And Brentford seem like they are entering that time of the season where there's only a couple of teams, by the way. There's usually a lot more teams that are entering that beach stage at this point. But I think Brentford are one of them. Them and their other West London counterparts we'll talk about next. I do see this one being a boring game. I can't see many goals in it. Wolves 1, Brentford 1. Wolves score a goal. They don't really score more than one in these games. Brentford, if Ivan Toney's not fit and firing, they really don't tend to score. I'm going for a 1-1 draw. Bit of a boring one. Sorry, Ed. He's actually going to this game as well on Saturday. So yeah, sorry. I don't think it will be good though. Are you Joe Gomez's brother? Do I look like Joe Gomez? John Pork, I don't think I look like Joe Gomez. I think his complexion's darker than mine. And also, maybe a beard. Maybe that's what you're thinking. And the size of my head, maybe. But nah, John Pork. I've had Reece James. I've had a few. But yeah, Reece James is probably the one that I've got recently because the beard seems to grow the same way. And currently, like Reece James, I'm a little bit chunky at the moment. So yeah, maybe that's the case. But Wolves 1, Brentford 1, Jimenez a goal, and Ivan Toney to score. Yes, me and Paxton agreeing on this one right here. UV says, when's the next calling show? I've not got one scheduled in. I know for a fact, I know this seems a while away from now, but the end of the season, I did one last season for the first season of the channel, and I loved it at the end of the season. But I'll try and schedule one in, and then we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it on Monday. I'll let you know when that will be sorted. So yeah, I'd love to hear your opinions. Yuvi, you're a very wise man. We've got plenty of wise people in this TTF community right here. So yeah, man, I'd definitely love to hear the thoughts and opinions of you guys. And when we just chopping it up, talking about football, whatever topic you want to do. So yeah, we'll stay tuned on that. I'll give you an answer on Monday. And yes, there is a goal rush, so you know what to do, people. Go check it out for the 3 o'clock kickoffs. No worries, my brother Luke. Anytime, man. Anytime for a brother. 1-1 as well. Moss says in here, Tony and Neves is back. Yeah, he's back from his suspension. Schalke doing the business, Moss. Hey, see, yeah, that's what you'll get on across the pond sports talk. Absolute anything, any sport, any league, you name it. They keep up to date with it. Juve's also said a 1-1 draw. Everyone's back in a 1-1 draw right now between Wolves and Brentford and Mateus. So Tony to score and Mateus Nunes again. Another player that you're interested in. Look up Seth Jones. Yeah, I've heard that one too. Seth Jones. You've told me that one there, Moss. The beard. John Paul. Okay, John. Okay. Oh, gosh. Hey, Arsenal Vlogs. I hope you're keeping well. Says you okay? Yes, I'm keeping good. I am okay. I hope you are. I hope you're having a fantastic start to the weekend too as well. No Ed has affected the likes today. Can we get to 20 people? You know what to do. Can we get to 20 likes? 15 people. Come on, man. I'm sure a lot of you, I'm sure all 10 of you, all 9 of you, 10 or so have liked it. But people, drop a like, please. Let's get to 20. Paxton's hit you with a target. Can you do it? Can you show some love for your boy? Or is it that you're missing Ed and you're like, I'm protesting against this? John Paul, Simon Jordan, John, mate, I love it. I absolutely love your randomness. I do not want Mateus Nunes. Okay, yeah, I don't think you should get him either. Doesn't really have a high output. Very good on the eye in terms of how he dribbles and drives to the midfield. I think he's one of the fastest midfielders or players in general in the Premier League. Maybe need a correct score, 1-1. Bet Wolves, bet on everyone. Yeah, and on it. Yeah, Wolves, everyone on it. Yep, everyone's gone for that. Mancha Kushana, hit the likes, everyone. Listen to the Mancha Kushana right here. And so, my hombre, my brother. Hope you're keeping good, man. 1 sub. Come on, man. Yeah, exactly. I need 1 sub. 1 more sub. Oh, I'm just thought actually. Before I get that 1 sub, because I made out a promise right here. Yeah. Tuesday might be difficult to do a Champions League watch along. I'm getting my hair cut. My barber's just returned. I got it booked for 6 o'clock. I'll set one up anyway. But yeah, I might be able to join you for like the second half, and that depends on what time I get home. I'll be based in Birmingham. But yeah, I'll definitely bring you a Champions League watch along if I can get that 1 sub this week. I can guarantee you. I can more than guarantee you that. Let's go. So let's go into the next game. We did speak about another West London team that is away from home, and that is Everton. At home to Fulham. So Fulham on the beach for me. I think Everton win this one. Get your predictions in the chat for Everton versus Fulham. I can only see an Everton win. I can't see Fulham doing it. And if it is going, if Everton don't score, that's their only issue at the moment. Already got the tick clip in the Discord. Okay, sorry. Oh man, but yeah, I've sent the 2 now. I'm gonna have to do it. I'm gonna have to work my hardest to get the 2 out. There you go. Hey, big up yourself, Pax, man. Oh, okay, I will. If I run late on Tuesday, I've given you an excuse. I've given my reason right there. I am getting my hair cut. Wednesday should be fine. I'm based in Birmingham for the office, but I'll be fine. But yeah, already got the clip. Yeah, I'll be there. I will be there. Someone said Tereak will wear the hat backwards at 650 subs. Oh man, yeah, no. I did not say that. 650 subs. We've done it, people. We have done it. Right. Can we double or nothing? One more like, people. Get to 20. I'm giving you all the targets here. I'm trying to back out of it as much as I can. Everton 1, Fulham 0, says Paxton. I'm not even giving my prediction yet, and I'm reading out yours. You know what? That's something that I was thinking of. I was thinking of a 1-0, but I'm going to say 2-0 Everton. Oh, that's brave of me for going for Everton to score 2 goals. They don't tend to do that. But Sean Dyche at home against Fulham on the beach. I can only see it. I'm going for 2-0 Everton right there. Poor game. Another one that will be low on match of the day. I hate how... I can't read that. Whoa! John Port. Come on. Hey, you can't be... What would you say? Is it discriminatory? Yeah, discriminatory. Yeah, Scouse. I like the Scouse accent, mate. I love it. I do. Did you like it? So John Pork, I've probably lost a subscriber now. How do you like my Scouse accent? Hope Everton get relegated, but they will survive, sadly. But I think Everton will win 1-0. Gray with the goal. Yeah, want another 1-0 win. So I wanted to go 1-0, but I feel like I've got to be in Paxton. 3-0 Archer. Oh, they're winning. What are you saying? What are you saying, Moss, for the Everton versus Fulham game? Scouse accent is a brilliant accent. I agree, Uvi. I agree, mate. I love it. Oh, look at that. Look at they're not happy in the chat. They're not happy. Sorry, I'll stop now. The accent is deadly. I nominate Super Ginger Ed Action Man to start the watch along on Tuesday till you get back. Great idea. I'm happy to do so. I'm happy to let Ed do that. I need to speak to him. We need to get him sorted. Hey, I made a promise, so he's got to help me out. Yeah, let's see if he can do that. Ball is in your court, T. Ooh, I didn't make no promises. That was yours. Oh, is it 20 likes as well? Is it 20? Is it 20? No, we ain't got the 20. I've lost the like now. I'm losing likes for the Scouse accent. That's what's happening. 1-0 Toffees, another one. Good call, Luke. It makes me feel sick. I'm sorry. Oh, John, what's wrong with the Scouse people, mate? What's wrong with that? Anyways, let's go into the next game. I think, what is it? We've got 2 more games left to talk about. Yeah, I think that is it. So we've not even spoken about Aston Villa versus Newcastle yet. Both of these teams are flying at the moment. It's the first game of the weekend, 12:30 kickoff. Aston Villa, what points are they on at the moment in the league table? They're on 47 points. They are 6 points behind 5th in Spurs, same games played, but they are 9 points away from the top 4. So they're going to need a miracle to do so. Brighton have the edge on them because of the 2 games in hand, but they're going to need a miracle to get into the Champions League. But to maintain and be in the Europa League spot, what a season for Aston Villa and what a job Unai Emery has done. For Newcastle, though, this will be a difficult fixture. They are facing one of the informed teams, the 3rd most informed team in the Premier League since Unai Emery has arrived, one of the best teams in the Premier League this year, in this calendar year, in Aston Villa. So, tough one to call, man. Tough one. Newcastle, Alan St. Maximin, rumoured to be injured as well, 4 to 6 weeks of the hamstring injury. What are we saying? Draw, fence. Shall I get splinters? Or Villa at home. Ollie Watkins continue that good form. Newcastle away. Man, I'm going to go. All right. No fence sitting. I'm backing Aston Villa. 2-1 to Aston Villa. Going to cause the upset. Throw the spanner in the works for this top 4 charge. Allow Brighton to get back into it if they can win. And then Spurs, if they grab that win, they're going to be, clutching and thinking, mate, we might just literally fall into that 4th position. I've gone 2-1 Aston Villa. Let me know your thoughts. No real doubt against Newcastle. It's just the form that Aston Villa are in. Man, look at these scorelines in the chat. Can we get Edmin to wear a sombrero at 1K? Oh, yeah. Okay, shake your hand on that. Shake your hand. Deal. Yeah. Edmin wears a sombrero. I'll get him a sombrero as well at 1K subs. Mate, what shall I do for 1K subs? Santi, you get cooking, my bro. You get cooking. Aston Villa 5, Newcastle 4. Wow. Goals. That will be goals. Newcastle don't really concede many, but if they concede 5 to Aston Villa, boy, oh boy, what a game we got for in store on that 12:30 kickoff right there. John again. John, what go on? Aston Villa and Newcastle. I don't like Tyrone Mings, but it's been harsh. It's been harsh. Sorry, I'm going to lose you again. Aston Villa and Newcastle is a good game. Emery versus Eddie Howe. I think it will be a 2-2 draw. Will be a very good game to watch. Yeah, so you and Pax have both gone for goals. You haven't gone for quite as much goals as Pax, but if Pax gets a correct score, bro, he deserves to win the whole prediction league just for that alone. Flip it. All right, John, you're taking it too far now, son. You're taking it too far. But yeah, 2-1 Emery. I nearly clicked on that again. Junior Sombrero, Mexican like Canelo. Exactly. Yeah. Pat. Yeah, Santi. I know. Ed Canelo Marshall. Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to think of it. Is there a Mexican surname? Marquez. That's it. Rafael Marquez, Ed Canelo Marquez. Let's go now into the final game, which is Southampton versus Crystal Palace. So Southampton versus Crystal Palace. Though that Palace look that safe now, don't they, guys? They look safe. They look like they've done enough. 5-1 away from home against Leeds, winning 2-1 against Leicester in the game before that. 6 points out of 6 for Roy Hodgson. He'll take that for sure. Southampton, if they lose this one, I think that's it. I think it's curtains for them if they lose this one here, because it is a relegation 6-pointer. They are at home. They are expected, if they are to stay up, they're going to need to win this sort of game. They're going to need to pick up 3 points. But you know what? I said if Southampton lose, it's going to be curtains for them. I think this is the final nail in the coffin for Southampton. I've gone for at Crystal Palace 2-1 win. 2-1 win for Palace. They're scoring the goals. Eze, Elise back on fire at the moment for them. Yeah, 2-1. Southampton can't stop conceding goals. They're the creators of their own downfall. They're the makers of it. So, yeah, I'm backing Crystal Palace here. 2-1 to Palace. That's the way we like it. Whoa. That's what I'm going to go for Crystal Palace right there. And that is the final game of the weekend. So, guys, let me run through yours. And before, just to let you know, that get your predictions into the comment section at the end of this video. We'll read through your comments and then wrap up in here. I'm going 3-2 Newcastle, just loads of goals. As another one. Why haven't I gone for so many goals? Paxton has literally gone for 2 9-goal thrillers. And that was shared. The 9 goals were shared in the previous game. All of this goes to Crystal Palace. 9-0 against Dead Hampton. Roy has these, man, on different levels. Palace 2-1 win. Southampton are awful. Totally going down yet. They are going down if they lose this one here, Rally. Me and you on the same page. 1-1 draw. I don't think a draw is even enough, for Southampton. For me, I think they need the win for sure. So 1-1 draw says Moss right there. Archer again. If Crystal Palace can play Eze and side, no, you're not catching me out there. Yeah, you nearly, John, nearly so. Next season, it could be good. Any vibes? big up yourself. Eagle Eye Football. Big up my bro Rich in the building right now. Hope you're keeping good and well. Thank you for tuning in. My head's gone. My head is gone. But guys, I am going to wrap up this show here. It is all over. It's all finished. So people, thank you for tuning in. Make sure you get your predictions into that comment section at the end of this video so that you can be within a chance of winning winning in this giveaway at the end of the season. It's 9 p.m. and he's doing trolling over here. Oh gosh. But guys, make sure you do get it into the comment section at the end of the video. Please do it, people. We're going to wrap it up now. Take care and enjoy the rest of your evening. And guys, God bless. Peace. We are out. Let me just run out the intro or the outro.